Welcome back. So the Dutch government has openly and violently declared full-on war against the world's most efficient and effective farmers. We've told you a lot of the details on the program before as this campaign has ramped up. But as a reminder, number one, the Dutch are the giants of the global agriculture industry. Despite having one of the most densely populated countries on planet Earth, the Dutch are still among the biggest food exporters in the entire world. In fact, they're second globally only behind the United States. But that's made them, of course, the number one target of these fanatics who, in the name of reducing greenhouse emissions, want to destroy all productive activity on planet Earth. The government's prime minister there has launched a project to seize 3,000 farms, along with the cows and along with the livestock on them, in order to slash the use of nitrogen that they always attack these farmers for. But remember, literally no farm on Earth is more efficient than a Dutch farm. So even if you cared about reducing emissions from farming, literally any other farms from any other country on planet Earth would be a better target because they're far less efficient. So this is clearly not even actually about reducing emissions like they claim to care about. No, this is about dominance. This is about control. This is about the intentional creation of a food crisis. Well, the Dutch farmers knew that. They recognized that. The Dutch people recognized that. And so fortunately, the Dutch farmers then did what almost no European movement is willing to do. They revolted. They drove out their tractors by the thousands to clog up roads and bring the Dutch to a halt. And it worked. Earlier this month, that government collapsed over this and from a dispute over the country's immigration policies. That might sound familiar. That means a new election this fall in the Netherlands, and right now the party polling at or near the top is the Farmer Citizen Movement, or BBB in Dutch. But this sort of thing isn't limited just to the Netherlands. No, the fake conservative government of the United Kingdom has been waging war against its own farmers for years as well. Jim Ferguson is a former parliamentary candidate for the Brexit Party. He's an entrepreneur. He is also a farmer, and he fights to raise awareness of the Global World Economic Forum's agenda to destroy our productive agriculture and regress us back to the Middle Ages. And he joins us now. Jim, thank you so much for coming. We appreciate you being here.
It's an absolute pleasure to be here, Stu. Thanks for having me on the show.
Isn't this just a perfect example of how when the masses revolt, we actually get what we want? When we rise up, when we say no more?
Yeah, absolutely. And that opening monologue was really perfect because you've summed up very, very accurately the situation that's going on there. People have had enough, Stu, and we've seen what's happened with the Dutch farmers. They have risen up. They've got the support of the population behind them. The government of Mark Rutte has totally collapsed. It's a coalition government. They were trying to bring in more and more people with illegal mass immigration. They were trying to drive the farmers off their land, farmers that have been there for generations. And it's coming for the UK next. Canada and America are not immune.
So who's going to do this? I mean, we've got the giant World Economic Forum that's always one of the usual suspects. Who's funding this? Who's advocating for all the destruction of farmers and farmland and livestock?
Well, you mentioned control, and that's exactly what it's all about. We've got billionaires like George Soros. We've got billionaires like Bill Gates. They are far left, really quite megalomaniacal in their mindsets. And what they're doing is they're funding to the tune of billions of dollars organizations like the World Economic Forum that's chaired by German Klaus Schwab. And what they're doing is they've put their people in positions of power. Biden, John Kerry in the United States, they are all WEF members. Sunak, Hunt, the Chancellor and Prime Minister in Great Britain, are WEF members. Macron in France is a WEF member. Trudeau in Canada is a WEF member. And of course, Mark Rutte in Holland is also a signed up WEF member. They want control of the food supplies. Holland is only a small nation of 5.8 million people. And you're right, it is absolutely the top producing exporter of food and farm products, second to America in the world. They are massive. And yet they want them to be totally subservient, drive all the farmers out of business, seize their land and their farms and their livestock so that they control the food supplies. This is about control, Stu.
Yeah. Well, dominance. They saw that it's not going to work when the masses rise up. There are only a few thousand psychopaths that control all of the money across the face of the planet. And there are hundreds of millions, hundreds of billions of us rather. So when we rise up, this is what happens. So why are we allowing the World Economic Forum to continue to shove these people down our throat? And you mentioned some of the people that were WEF puppets. Well, what about the people who position themselves as America First fighters or conservatives? I mean, we've got this Vivek Ramalama Ding Dong guy running for president here. Just so happens, guess what? He's funded by the World Economic Forum. I mean, all of these people, we have people in our government that position themselves as fighters for freedom, and they are sold out to Klaus Schwab and his sycophants.
Yeah, I mean, I see similarities to the rise of the World Economic Forum to what we saw in Nazi Germany. I kid you not. I see the same propaganda, the same mindset. Klaus Schwab has bragged about penetrating the governments of the West. He's got to be stopped. And, you know, I've had discussions with the leader of the Farmers Defence Force in Holland, Joe Oogles. He's a great guy. He's a farmer. He's just not willing to buckle the knee to these people, and neither should we. And you will find that there's many other people that feel as we do. There's been protests now in Ireland as well, where they've been told that they have to cull 200,000 herd of cattle just to meet these nitrogen targets, net zero, whatever excuse they come up with. The real reason is they want to control the food supplies, because if they control the food supplies, Stuart, they control the populations, and we've got to stop them.
Not only do they control actually like famine and starvation, which is coming, it's absolutely real, shortages, supply chain disruptions, all these things are 100% implemented on purpose for diabolical and cynical reasons, but also they control what goes into the manufacturing and processing of these products that help to keep the world population just sick enough to where they become lifetime subscribers to the medical big pharma industrial complex. Cancers, super cancers, inflammation, diabetes, COVID-19, all of these things, anything that you could possibly imagine, all these quote unquote genetic diseases. I don't believe it. I don't believe it at all. I think it's in everything that we're consuming. They're spraying stuff on the soil. So even if you grow your stuff at home and become as self-sufficient as you possibly can, guess what? We've already proven that these chemtrails and, toxic poisons that are infiltrating our we can't even get magnesium, by the way, out of our soil anymore. We used to be rich in magnesium. Can't get it anymore. Now everybody has to supplement. These are the things that keep us healthy. They're eliminating all of them. I've got about 30 seconds left here. Final words. I'm interested to hear this. How do we stop Klaus Schwab and the World Economic Forum?
Well, one of the first things we've got to do is stop their key mechanism to weaken sovereign national states and countries, and that's through mass uncontrolled immigration. The United States have got a massive problem on the southern border, Stu. You guys up there, you're going to have to stand up, and you're going to have to get that dealt with. And the same here in the UK. We've got tens of thousands of them coming across the channel, and we're going to see what happened in France if we're not very careful. We saw massive riots there. I reported on your show about that, and it's frightening. We've got to take a stand. We've got to say no more. These WEF puppets, we've got to tell them, you're on notice. Stop it now, or you're going to get removed. Yeah,
it's really shocking to me. You mentioned immigration, the physical military style invasion that's happening at our country's border right now. It's a travesty. Meanwhile, we're funding billions of dollars over to this Ukraine, and refusing to do the one essential, absolute obligation, the duty of the American military is to protect its citizens and its land from physical invasion. And that's what they're doing. It's just amazing to me that we have over 300 million people in this country that are unwilling to go and protect the borders ourselves. We need to take matters into our own hands. We can't trust the plan. We have to be the plan. Jim Ferguson, thank you so much. God bless you.
God bless you too, Stu. My pleasure.
Of course. We'll have you back again soon. More of the Stu Peters Show continues right after this. Go nowhere. You guys know I'm a huge fan of Chuck Norris. Who couldn't be? He's not just an action star. He's a veteran. He's a family man. And he's actually really big on health. But get this. He says that he feels better right now at age 83 than he has in years. And it's from making one single change to his diet. What he realized is that after decades of trying every supplement out there, most of them did nothing for his health. But a few did provide dramatic changes. So he put them all together in one drink that he calls Morning Kick. Morning Kick combines all 10 of Chuck Norris's favorite supplements into one daily drink. It's got probiotics that help you lose weight, prebiotics for digestion, superfoods for all those muscles and joints, and several of the most powerful anti-aging supplements on earth. Look at this guy. He looks great. I gotta say, I started taking Morning Kick because I'm a fan of Chuck Norris and I trust him, and I can see why everyone is raving about it. What's amazing is how much more energy I have. Digestion is fantastic. I'm thinking more clearly. Obviously, everyone is unique, so results will be different for different people, but for me, it's an absolute game changer. It makes me feel younger. Plus, it tastes great, just like strawberry lemonade. It's become my favorite drink, actually. If you want to try it yourself, head over to americareadysupply.com/Stu. That's americareadysupply.com/Stu. We're seeing unprecedented criminal tax hikes, hyperinflation, a full-blown recession, and it's all part of the grand plan. The billions of dollars that Biden keeps sending to that corrupt, fake Ukraine. The trillions in new taxes that he wants to shove down your throat. The electronic banking system crash, resetting everybody to zero. Checking accounts, savings accounts, 401ks, IRAs, all of it. Zero. But you don't have to be a victim. Protect your money and get up to $10,000 in free silver to do it when you call my friends at Goldco. Goldco has helped to protect over $2 billion in gold and silver for people like you and me. And now they're offering you up to $10,000 in bonus silver when opening a qualified IRA account just for being a supporter of the Stu Peters Show. So whether you want to protect your 50 grand or a $500,000 or even more, this is your opportunity to protect yourself from our out-of-control, corrupt corporate crime syndicate. Don't be a victim. Call Goldco, 855-706-GOLD. Again, 855-706-GOLD, or go to goldco.com/Stu.